Hello, everybody. Welcome back to In Conversation with ATF. My guest today is a very special guest. You may know his name if you are a fan of Dexter's Laboratory. Now, in the mid-90s, there was a young 6.5-year-old boy called Tyler Samuel Lee, and he narrated and came up with his own story, and he submitted it to the folks at Cartoon Network. He even came up with his own character, Computress. And, well, I mean, the rest is history. Dexter and Computress Get Mandark debuted in 1998. And, well, let's just say Tyler is here to tell his story. And he's done everything ever since. He's been opera singing. He's been honestly, I'm so excited. It's like a where are they now segment. I absolutely love it. Okay, right, here we go. My guest is Tyler Lee. You prefer to be called. You did say to be called Tyler Lee, so I'm gonna completely respect. I just used that because that was what you used. Yeah. Welcome to my podcast. I'm sorry I tried to make this intro as perfect as possible. I probably flubbed it a few times. I know this is like the third time recording. Thank you. Thank you so much. First of all, how are you doing today? I have so much I want to ask you. But I want to know how you're
I'm
doing.
doing great. Doing great, thanks. Yeah, I've
That's
got
good.
yeah, we've I've got work tonight. We're doing great. Everything's going well.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. And you told me before you're an opera singer. Is there?
I am.
I've got to ask you, when did you get into opera singing? Have you always? I mean, I want to know more about you, Tyler. I'm just. I mean, I just let the guest take the wheel and stuff. So okay, let me just rephrase that. When did you start opera singing?
So I started opera. So I was so after the Dexter's Lab and like child acting stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I got into musical theater. And I was obsessed with Broadway. And there's a competition in New York where I'm from, where it's you have to you sing. It's a singing competition for like all
Yeah.
high school kids, and you can only use classical music for the
Mm-hmm.
the competition.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started singing classical music. And yeah, I had voice lessons and a teacher and everything. And my parents, I realized I was like, I'm pretty good at this. And so my parents, they said, okay, well, he's already proven that he can do performing and it's okay. So let's support this. And I was very grateful. And yeah, and so we started opera. I went to my undergrad and then my master's and then I was a waiter and a bartender for a while, like you do.
Yeah.
And then I got hired out here in Chicago to sing professionally.
That is so cool. That is really cool. Now, Tyler, there is, as I said before, there's so much I want to ask you, but I want to take it back all the way to before Dexter's Laboratory. Yes, so I want to know, is there any other, no, I'm not dunking on Dexter's Lab. Was there any other cartoons that you liked at the time? Was there anything else that you were into at the time aside from Dexter's Laboratory? I mean, we're gonna get to
Oh
that in a minute, but is there any other
yeah.
cartoons that you watched?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean so many. I mean I loved every Cartoon Network show on that lineup. You know, I would sit for I mean hours. I mean like all kids I think of my generation like we would just all sit. Cartoon Network would come on at, the cartoon hour
Yeah.
and you'd have Dexter's Laboratory, Count Chicken, Johnny
Hey.
Bravo. Yeah, I mean, all people that, and I've seen like a bunch of your podcasts now, all people whose voices you've interviewed, which is amazing. And yeah, it was very cool. And yeah, I mean, I loved all of it, all of the cartoons, Toonami and Teen, like all of that. It was great.
Well, I'm
Every cartoon.
glad. I'm glad. I'm glad when you mentioned Cow and Chicken, I was like, oh my God, Charlie Adler. I had him on. I was like, wow. He was just like, wow. It was so cool, just talking to like all these people. And
Yeah.
she's not been on my show, but I have met her, Candy Milo, the second voice of Dexter.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. And
Wow.
yeah, oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm gonna let one slip. I
Yeah.
may or may not be having something coming up with the first voice of Dee Dee, Alison Moore, maybe. I don't
Oh,
know.
that's amazing.
Yeah,
Oh, very
so
cool. Very cool.
yeah, so honestly, that just knowing that is just so cool. So I want to know. how it all got started for you. You were 6 and a half. You're in Long Island, New York, and you thought, I'm gonna make my own Dexter's Lab episode, and I'm gonna. Was it your idea to submit it off, or was it your? Oh yeah, I forgot to ask. Oh, the second important co-star was your mum.
Oh, of
How's your
course.
mum
Yeah.
doing?
She's doing great.
That's good.
She and my dad are in they moved from Long Island. They're not on Long Island anymore. They have a farm now.
Ooh,
They have a bunch of chickens and a few dogs and a huge vegetable farm, and
wow,
it's great. They're doing great.
that's so
Uh,
cool. That is so cool.
yeah,
So
they're
that's so cool. I'm glad to hear they're doing well. I'm glad to hear they're doing well. So how did it sort of all get started for you? Did you come up with it beforehand? I want to know. Take me through everything you know.
so we had just finished watching the Mach 5 episode of Dexter,
Mhm.
which is the Speed Racer
Yeah.
parody.
Mhm.
And I remember we were sitting and I said to my mother, I was like, I want to do an episode. And my mom said, okay, yeah, do it. Yeah. And so I took a little handheld cassette recorder and I went into the bathroom and I hit record and I just stream of consciousness 6-year-old child spoke for like 20 minutes, I'd say. And so, unbeknownst to me, my mother just took the tape and mailed it into Cartoon Network, and along with a drawing that I had made, like a crayon drawing that I had made. And a few months later, we got a letter from them saying, "Hey, we listened to your tape," and everybody, like, nobody could stop laughing. And so we're gonna animate around that audio using the drawing that you made as a basis of the animation style. And so yeah, and then a few months after that, we got some more, like, just like some prep work letters, and then we eventually it came on, and we had the whole family over. Everyone was sitting in the room and watching the TV. It was amazing. It was so cool.
Oh, that's really sweet. And I've got to ask, because I was wondering about all the behind the scenes stuff that you did. Did you ever get to go out to LA to Cartoon Network, or was that nothing? What did you get anything? I'd say in compensation, but did you get any like sort of, I don't know, memorabilia from it? I know there is a picture of you that exists online, and it's you wearing like a Cartoon Network shirt. So I'm presuming maybe you got that. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. So they flew me out to the studio.
Oh,
They
awesome!
yeah they cut me a nice little check too, which was nice. Uh, and they flew me out, me and my mother and my sister, and we got to meet Gendy. We got to meet like all the animators. We got to meet Craig McCracken, like all of those people.
Yeah,
And it was so cool. It was so cool. We got to tour all of the studios around like Hollywood, and it was so cool. And then they put me as a guest on the Tonight Show. And so it was me, it was like Jay Leno, and then it was like Tiny Tyler, and then Dennis Rodman and Howie Mandel. And it was just
wow.
like these massive people, and I was like kind of kicking my legs over the chair.
That's so cute. I never knew that at all. I need to try and see if I
Oh
can dig it
yeah.
out. Or if it's on YouTube anywhere. Can I watch it? I don't
It
know.
might be. I don't know.
You're gonna
I
make
know
me
that
check
there's
now.
pictures of it.
You're gonna make me check now. But honestly, that is so wholesome. I want to know: did you meet any of the voice actors from Dexter's Lab, or was it just the animators?
So it was just the animators, but one of the animators I learned played the Sasquatch, Sassy, in one of the episodes. And he wouldn't do the wah sound until like he was like down the hall, and he just like screamed it from down the hall, and everyone was like, "Yeah!" So it was great.
I couldn't find it online, but there is a stock image that exists on Getty Images, and that is just adorable.
That's the one. Yeah, yeah.
That is that's so wow. That that's so wholesome. Stop. That is adorable.
It
It's
was great.
absolutely
It was
adorable.
fun.
I'm so jealous. So what did you do after that? Did that inspire you to go into, did you want to go into voiceover or the arts, or is that where your sort of thing about opera singing and musical theatre came from? Is that where your desire came
Uh,
from?
Yeah, so after that, I got an agent and a manager and all of that. I did some work for Out of the Box on Disney for a little bit.
Oh,
And that was cool. Yeah, that was a few episodes there, and then at some point, I was like, I think I'm ready to like I want to play with Legos. Like I'm ready to stop this. I did, it was crazy because for a few years,
hmm,
I was going into Manhattan like almost every day for auditions and for like little voiceover work. They had me. I was like, for a bit, I was a kid that came in to dub over kids in commercials that they
yeah.
didn't like the voices for. And
Hmm.
so there were a few commercials out there that like had, some kid doing the physical actions, and then they just took his voice out and they had me dub over for whatever it was. And so
Yeah.
there were a few of those. And then eventually I got into musical theater. And I remember it's throughout the entire thing. My mother, who was like my greatest champion, she said, anytime you want to stop, we'll stop. And so I was very grateful for that. I didn't know it at the time, but I was very grateful for it. And so yeah, at some point I said, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. Let's stop. And she's like, okay, great. And then I didn't want to stop performing. So that's when I was like, okay, musical theater. Like that's something cool, and that's something I don't have to go into the city every day to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so I started doing that, and then the competitions, opera, and here I am.
That is a wonderful, wonderful backstory. I mean, I'm looking at behind the voice actors right now and just seeing you credited among all these great people. You're literally like you're 3 credits above Frank Welker for crying out loud. And like I think just it's so cool. I mean, you're only credited as like the narrator, but like I think what would have been really funny is if you were credited as like Dexter. So like if you search up behind the voice actors, oh yeah, one of the
Mhm.
voice actors for Dexter was Tyler Samuel Lee. I'm like, oh, okay, okay, that's definitely something. Um, this is actually an interesting idea now. Would you ever be up for making like a Comic Con appearance anywhere?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Really?
absolutely. Yeah.
And just like have signed pictures just saying you are stupid and you are
That would be,
stupid.
yeah. That would be so. I've only ever signed one thing in my life for someone, like as an adult. There's this guy who, so I made an Instagram,
Yeah.
and there's a, are you okay with the tangent? This is a
No,
tangent.
I am
Um,
absolutely all right with it. Go, go,
Amazing.
be free.
So, so about a year and a half ago at this point, some guy posted something on Instagram that was like, "Oh, hey, remember that time like the 6-year-old did this, thing on Dexter, blah blah blah," and all of the comments said, "Oh yeah, that kid's dead now," and they said, "Oh yeah, no, I heard he had like a terminal illness, and like this was a Make-A-Wish." Another one was like, "Oh yeah, it was like a competition," and a bunch of people were like, "Oh, I remember that," and like it was just a lot of weird stuff. And my sister commented like, "He's not dead. He's definitely alive. He's my brother." And a bunch of people that I went to school with and like are currently friends with, they would comment because the post went really big,
Yeah.
and so and then a lot of responses were like, "Stop fucking lying! Like, what are you doing?" And so eventually I said, "Okay, I will make an Instagram." I didn't have social media like at all, and
Hmm.
I decided I was like, "Okay, I am alive," and so I made an account and I posted like pictures of I got this hand painted cell from Gendy.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, "Hey Tyler, thanks for making a great episode. Your pal Gendy," and I posted a picture of that of me holding it, of me, and the guy who posted the original post was like, "Is this real? Is this? Oh my God, this is you?" And so then, yeah, and then,
So that meme with the guy in bed, he's like, I lived, bitch. It's like, it's me,
yeah,
I'm alive.
exactly,
Still
yeah.
here, never
So
left.
yeah, yeah. So that happened. But some guy, a wonderful man named Justin sent me a message and said, "Hey, I have an old Dexter's Laboratory like trading card from the 90s. Would you, if I mailed it to you, would you sign it?" and say you are stupid, write it and then mail it back. I said absolutely, and he's a lovely man. I met him this summer,
Oh,
um,
wow.
and I met his girlfriend, like just lovely people, and yeah, and so that's the only thing that I have signed as like a request. But I would gladly. That sounds amazing.
Good, because I'd love to be the second person who gets your autograph. First international autograph.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, that would be
Mm-hmm.
great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'll make it in New York sometime. I promise you that now.
Perfect.
I think it's absolutely wonderful that you were given the opportunity to do that because they don't really I guess they don't allow it nowadays. Essentially, like I mean, the story submitting idea, they say a lot of people say we don't take submissions from sole people who aren't with companies and stuff like that.
Right.
As for the voice acting, if it was like a big Cartoon Network something like that, you would have to be in a union. So that's honestly
Right.
that's really really cool that they did that. But
Oh yeah.
I think I think more cartoons should do that. Do you think more cartoons should do that? Open to fan ideas who could narrate their own episode, they could make own characters, write the script, sing the theme
Yeah.
tune.
I think that would be amazing. And I think that I mean, so there was a cartoon called Axe Cop. Um and it was like a little 10-minute episode series.
Mm-hmm.
And it was starring like Nick Offerman. He
Mm-hmm.
was like the main voice, but the
Seen it
entire
all, yeah.
thing was the creator's like child son, that just kind of
Mm-hmm.
stream of consciousness, very similar, honestly, to Dexter and Computers Get Mandark. That was every episode. Was just
Yeah.
10 minutes of like just the craziest thing. It was amazing. I loved it a lot. But yeah, I mean, I think that would be great if they did that more. I think that nowadays, with the prevalence of the internet, it would be a
Yes.
lot more sifting. But I think that Gendy Tartakovsky is a visionary of cartoons and of animated properties. I mean, his work
Yes.
with the Clone Wars was amazing. Even
Yes.
just like all of his crazy Dexter ideas
Mm-hmm.
were so unique. And I mean,
Yes.
who would think to do? I mean, just all of the things that he's done are so out there and brilliant for
Yeah.
it, and he took risks, and he like and they honestly really paid off.
Yeah.
So and I'm biased, but yeah, they I think they paid off. So yeah, I mean, I think that if someone were to do that, this was the cartoon for that.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, I mean, I
Definitely.
think it would be great if more people did it.
Yeah, definitely. Have you seen Gennady since? Have you met anyone from the show since? Obviously, I know obviously since you went to LA, you did all that. But what about, now? I know you're in your
Hmm.
30s. Have you met anyone since?
I've been trying to find him. It was interesting. I went to so in Chicago, it's where I live now.
Hmm. Hmm.
There is a Comic Con style thing called C2E2,
Oh,
and
yes, 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 yes.
yeah, and so the one year that I didn't go, he had a panel, and I was so mad. Because I wanted to get in line and the questions and just kind of come up and say, "Hey, when I was 6, you changed my life." So I think that would have been
That
perfect,
would
but I had
have been
work and I
so.
was like, "Ah, never again."
Oh no, I'm so sorry. Oh
Yeah, it's
my
okay.
goodness. Well, if I ever get Gennady for my show, you'll be first dibs on getting in the Zoom call with me.
Please do, please do. That would be
You're
amazing.
welcome. You're welcome. I never knew you were from Chicago. Okay, okay. Maybe the New York trip can wait. I can get to Chicago. I mean, yes, I think they have. Yeah, they recently. Oh my God, yeah. They had TF Con. It was a Transformers convention in Chicago, and Charlie Adler was a guest there last month.
Yeah, perfect.
That would
It's
have been
perfect. Yeah,
perfect.
yeah,
You
yeah.
could have met Cow and Chicken and Red Guy and Baboon. I was like, wow, it's so cool. What are you doing nowadays aside from the opera singing? Are you doing any acting? Would you like to go back into voice acting? I know technically you're a voice actor. If you do any sort of voiceover acting, you're a voice actor. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate
You're
that.
welcome.
Yeah, so I would love to. I mean, it's the one thing that I like more than music is doing weird, funny voices. I mean, I play D&D all the time, and that's to
Ooh.
me like I'm a forever DM. But
Mhm.
I like it's just a stream of funny of like accents and voices. That's something that has never changed. I think before even before Dexter's Laboratory, before any of that, when I was a like an infant, I had a toy that was
Yeah.
just like the cow goes and then it made a cow sound and the horse goes whatever. And it
This
was
see and say, spin and say. I think that's what it's called.
yeah,
See and
exactly,
spin. I think that's
exactly.
what it's called.
Yeah, yeah. See and spin and say and
See and
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one. That's the one I'm on about.
Yeah. And so
Oh,
I did
it's so
that.
good.
I had one of those, and my parents, apparently, I would listen to it nonstop, and I would start to impersonate the sounds that the animals made until one day my parents, they said, this from their point of view, they heard the machine going off, and they said, "This machine must be broken. It's just making the same sound over and over and over again." And they went over to take the batteries out, and it was me. And they said,
Wow.
they're like, "Oh my God, what is happening?" And so, yeah, I love like impersonations and impressions, and that's something that I've been doing my whole life, and I'm still doing all the time. Uh, and yeah, that's something that I would love to keep doing. Like, I'd love to do voice acting. I'd love
You'd
to
be
keep
good at
doing
it.
that.
You would be
Thanks,
good at
thanks.
it.
I hope so. Yeah,
Let's
so I mean,
face
I
it.
would love to. I think that would be a lot of fun. I'd love to
Mm.
do something. I'd love to work with Gendy again. I mean that,
Yeah.
and like work with. Like I just kind of like submitted something, and
Yeah.
he was like, "All right, we can do this." But I mean, yeah, I mean that would be amazing. That'd be so cool.
Definitely.
Give me a Dexter
Definitely.
sequel series. Let's do
Yes,
it.
yes, yes, yes. Dexter hands his lab over to Tyler. That'd be beautiful. And then Computer Assist be introduced, and then we got Mandark, and you got everyone else. Does my face look red to you? I do apologize. This is me being
It looks
self-conscious.
amazing. Yeah, no,
The
no, no,
whole
no.
the whole thing, it just looks like these is just like normal skin tone, and then everything else is just red, and I look like I'm I'm sorry. Have you met? Because I know you said about C2E2.
Mhm.
Have you been before? Have you met any voice actors? Have you told them about your story with Dexter's Lab or not?
I mean, I've always so I the lines at C2E2 are enormous. So I'm always like I love to walk around and like go to Artist Alley and get all the I
Yeah.
love to just pick up art. Um, but no, I haven't not personally. I haven't personally met any of the voice actors. Actually, I walked by is it Greg Baldwin, the voice of Iroh? After
Yes.
after
Yes.
Mako died. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember walking by him and I was like, wait, I know that guy. I know that guy. And but that's the closest I've ever the closest
Fair
I've ever
dues.
done.
Fair dues. I mean, I've seen him a few times, but like I've not met him. I've just walked past him at San Diego Comic Con, like he's usually like signing at his table. Like I've never
Hmm.
seen Avatar. Is there any other
Oh wow.
cartoons that you enjoy watching back at? It could be Nickelodeon, Disney, anything like that. Yeah,
Oh,
I've barely
absolutely.
watched Avatar. Uh,
That's okay. It's well, first I recommend it. It's a fantastic show. It's really good. I watch regular show, I think once a year in its
mhm.
entirety.
Oh wow.
It to me it's like one of my I'd love to like I'd love to do a YouTube like just a YouTube series of just like analyzing regular show because it's a
Yes.
brilliant show. Um, it's a one of the like it's a masterclass in storytelling, I think. Goes from episodic to like an overarching thing, similar to like Adventure Time, Steven Universe. All of the 10-minute slot cartoons from that era are really good. So I love those. I might do a Dexter's Laboratory rewatch soon. I think it
Go
seems
for
like a
it.
good winter rewatch, you know?
Go for it. Do
Uh,
an audio commentary
yeah.
on yeah, Mandark. That'd be quite nice. I would do that
Oh,
with you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
I have
cool.
some
Yeah.
ideas. Yes.
Yeah, like a little live. Yeah, that sounds great.
Yes, yes, yes. I've started doing them recently. They're just so much fun. This has nothing to do with what we just said right now, but have you ever been to
Okay.
England before?
Actually, yes. So I did my
No
first
way.
solo trip
Oh, yeah.
last year to
Uh-huh.
England. So
Oh,
I
wow.
yeah, I went with my
Oh,
parents and
that's
I
so
went on a
cool.
vacation to Ireland.
Uh-huh.
And then they left and I said, "You know what? I'm staying." And I stayed in London for a week and a half, 2 weeks,
Wow.
and it was great. I stayed right by the tower.
Yes,
Uh
Tower
and it
Bridge,
was
right? Tower of
yeah,
London?
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Ah,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. And I was within walking distance of there.
Oh, wow,
Um
awesome.
Yeah, and so I went everywhere. I walked around to the opera house. I walked around to like just kind of the far outskirts, and it was great. It was so cool. And so a friend of mine that I'd met online, playing D&D,
Hmm.
he lives in England, and he said, you
Oh,
know, London Comic Con is this week. Do you want to come? And so I went to London Comic Con. It was awesome. It was really, really cool. England's a great
so
place.
cool. That is so cool. Which one did you go to? Did you go to MCM or London Film and TV? The one at
I
the
think I am.
Olympia.
Oh God, I
MCM.
know we took a train. Yeah, it was probably
At
MCM.
the XL, yeah.
It was March, so
Maybe, yeah. I can't remember. I've not been to MCM
that's fine.
since before COVID, really, actually. That
Wow,
was a
I know it was in a massive warehouse, just massive
would
area,
have been MCM probably. Yeah. Yeah, you
probably.
usually get
Yeah,
a lot of good voice people for that. Yeah, definitely. Honestly, Tyler, wow, it's been absolutely magical to talk to you. And in the future, I'd love to get you back on. We could dive more into stuff. Actually, I've got to ask you real quick
yeah. Please.
before we wrap it up. You did mention Out of the Box, and I am so sorry. It doesn't say anywhere about online about Out of the Box. I just presumed you only did
Oh
Dexter's
wow.
Lab. I was like, okay. Tell me a little bit about how you got involved in Out of the Box, and yeah, just tell me everything. I'm
Yeah.
all ears.
So I was working and auditioning places. My agent had said, "Hey, there's a Disney show. It's entering its third season. And you know, do you want to be one of the kids?" It was essentially like, you know, similar to like Barney or like anything where there's like, you know, a
Yeah,
couple of
yeah.
adults
It's
and a
Barney
bunch of
but with
kids.
humans. Yeah.
Yeah, and they said, "You're going to be one of the kids."
Hmm.
And so I said, "Oh, great. Okay." And it was my first real like experience in a set in a big like this is a film crew. This is what this does, you know. And like I was definitely out of my element. I was definitely like just a kid that was kind of put into the like acting world. And I because I didn't know I mean I was 7 and I didn't know what the word continuity meant, but they like I would be like, you know, I we would cut and then I'd be like, you know, messing around with something. I'm like, Tyler, don't do that. I said, why? And they said continuity, and I'd be like, what? So it'd be things like that the whole time. But it was a lot of fun. I actually found a lot of my castmates on social media,
Really?
and so
Wow.
yeah, and so it's I mean it was very cool. It's very cool.
That's so
They're cool people.
cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm literally looking at the what's it called? The Wikipedia page. It doesn't exactly say which kids appear in what episode, but I mean the whole series
Right.
is on Disney Plus, so you can I'm sure you could just go on that and then just scan through the episode and you'll find it.
Yeah.
So is it like was it like Barney? So like there was a lot of kids, but only like three of them would appear. Like from what I'm
Mm-hmm.
seeing,
Yeah.
there was like six, seven kids who appeared, but it would only be like three of them in an episode, or was there only a
Yeah.
few and all of them would appear in the same episode? Like how did it
No, so
work?
it was basically like just a
They
rotating
rotated,
cast of
yeah.
like
So like
3 kids
no, they
per
did Barney
episode.
and
Yeah.
Friends, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Fair
And so
enough.
we would have, yeah, and the set was in Queens, New York. And so every morning, this is like another example of just my mother being the champ. She would drive me to Queens every morning at like 5 in the
Wow,
morning to
wow.
get onto the set and then work from the set from like where the
Hmm.
parents kind of hung out
Yeah.
and then drive back home every day from Queens, which is a nightmare. Um, and it was that driving in like taking into the city for the recording sessions and
Hmm.
learning music and listening stuff and learning lines and like it was really just like every step of the way this woman was there and yeah, really really incredible, very very grateful.
That's so so cool. I'm so jealous. You're gonna make me go watch some Out of the Box right now. I'm not being funny. We did get in the UK, but I think it stopped airing by the time I started watching Playhouse Disney or by the time I started walking or something. But honestly, Tyler, thank you ever so much. You will be back. I want you back on my show.
Thank you, I'd love to anytime.
Definitely. I'm sorry for postponing it, by the way. For those of you at home, I did say I was taking a break, but I'm filming this on the 18th of November. I could not turn this interview down at all. If I did, there would be hell to
Thank you.
pay. But with that being said, thank you so, so much for watching this. And Tyler, I hope you have a great holiday season because it's nearly Christmas. So exciting. And also give your mum my best as well. It'd be great for her to maybe hop in on the next episode. That'd be quite fun. Again, thank you so much for being a part of my podcast. And to you at
Thanks
home,
for having me.
you're welcome. Thank you for watching. You at home, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you very soon. Take care now. Bye bye. And
Bye.
cut.